Hey, welcome back to the channel. Do you want to know if you're an Enneagram 8? Or have you taken the test but are still unsure? Or do you know an Enneagram 8, family member, friend, or client, and just want to understand them better? Well, stay tuned because I'm going to reveal what it's like to be a type 8. And watch till the end because I'm going to be sharing one characteristic that just may surprise you. Hi, I'm Tyler Zock, pastor, Enneagram coach, author of the 40-Day Gospel for Enneagram Devotional series, and your personal guide to helping you transform your life, relationships, and workplace by giving you spot-on truths for your type. So keep watching if you want to feel seen, understood, and challenged to let go of the things that are keeping you stuck in your personal and professional life. And make sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss more free content coming up next week. Okay, now let's get to it. Type 8s are called the challengers. My personal name recently has been defenders. I think that adequately describes them and is a little more positive. But 8s fear being weak, fear being powerless, harmed, controlled, manipulated, or at the mercy of injustice. Their desire is to protect themselves and those they love and care about. So their focus is on taking charge. 8s will love to take charge and lead more than falling in line. Their idol is control and power. They avoid vulnerability and weakness at all costs, which we'll talk a little bit more about. Their vice is lust, which is not a sexual lust, although it could be, but it's just a lust for intensity, a lust for more control over the environment, a lust for self-extension, to have more influence. And so they're constantly feeling this need to push everything and assert themselves willfully. And therefore, the virtue is tenderness, mercy, right? To put off the armor and to put on their more tender selves and extend more mercy when they want justice. 8s are self-confident, assertive, and protective. They use their strength to make a way for others to be successful. I've heard them likened to snowplows. Strong snowplows that can push away the snow during a snowstorm and get all of that out of the way so that we can get out of our garages and go to work. Right? So they can push forward with tremendous tenacity to push through hard conflicts, hard obstacles to allow us to do our job. When the snowplow is working properly, right, it can do a lot of good. But when this driver of the snowplow is drunk, you can imagine that they would take out some pedestrians. So it's good for 8s to be healthy. Otherwise, there might be a train of bodies behind them, okay? For 8s, it takes them a long time to trust people, but they will fight to the death for those in their inner circle. They are extremely loyal protectors. They desire to be independent and in control of their environment. They can be stubborn and headstrong. They have been told at times they can be blunt or bossy. But under their tough exterior is a very tender heart, right? They are tough. Sometimes they can come off as intimidating, but underneath is a very tender heart. And so oftentimes you might see 8s playing with kids, maybe their grandparents, and they're just so tender and so good with kids. It's because they have that tender heart underneath that tough exterior. 8s don't like it when others beat around the bush. 8s like straight talk. They love honesty. They love directness. And 8s don't mind stirring the pot when change is needed. Okay, if you've ever had a fractured bone, you realize that you could have just let the fracture linger forever, but that would have done no good. The pain would be always there. But sometimes you need to break that fractured bone and reset it in order to be fully healed. That's how 8s think, is they don't mind breaking that fracture and doing what needs to be done, even if it hurts, in order to see long-term progress and healing. 8s have been told they have a strong presence and can come across as intimidating, although it's mostly sort of an inner power that they just carry that the rest of us don't have. They don't mean to be intimidating most of the time if they're healthy. 8s believe that actions speak louder than words. 8s are doers. And if you aren't all in, if you're just kind of moseying in and out, that's extremely frustrating to an 8. 8s are not afraid of conflict, confrontations, or bullies. Right? When the rest of us want to run, eights have more of a fight, not a flight mentality. Eights fear being controlled, hurt, or betrayed. Right? For the people that they've let in their inner circle of trust, it can be overwhelming thinking about being betrayed by their community, their family members, their coworkers. It's something that they think about under the surface. Eights tell people what they think, even if it's hard to hear. Again, they don't love giving hard truth, but to them, there's no other option. Like they have to give truth, even if it's hard for somebody to hear, right, to move the ball forward. Eights think being vulnerable and showing their softer side is a real challenge. It is so hard to take off that armor that they have and be vulnerable, sharing their weaknesses, sharing their softer sides, because vulnerability equals weakness. And they find their worth in being strong and being protectors. So it's it's not intuitive for them to show their vulnerable side to other people a lot. Eights think too much affirmation feels like manipulation. This is something that eights are like, usually have an aha moment. Yes, I do. When they're trying to encourage me and they're putting when I'm being flattered, it just feels like they're trying to get something from me. So that's something that is common to all eights. Eights find it hard to respect people who don't stand up for themselves. Again, eights don't want to be weak themselves, and they don't want other people to be weak. They want people to show their strength, to assert themselves, and to stand up for themselves. Eights can oftentimes sense who holds the power in the room. Right? Eights are very attuned to power dynamics. Eights defend themselves and others from injustice. This is something that I love about eights, particularly being a part of a multi-ethnic church where we've been through some hard years and we've needed people to stand up and to speak about justice. And so oftentimes eights lead the way in doing what needs to be done and to protect other people and to call out injustice wherever they see it. Eights don't do things halfway. Eights are all in when they're all in, and they want other people to be all in as well. And it really is a pet peeve when other people seem to not be all in. Eights are courageous, persevering, and resilient. I love this about eights. Oftentimes in ministry, when I've wanted to throw in the towel and give up when things get hard, the Jameson, who's a type 8, who I co-lead our church with, he is resilient. He can bounce back after hard conversations, bounce back after really hard situations. And I love that. The church thrives because they have somebody who is resiliently leading him through the hard stuff of life. Eights enjoy taking on big challenges and don't back down from difficult decisions. Right? Eights, when they have to climb that mountain to get to that goal that seems overwhelming, and it seems like there's so many obstacles to get there, eights are actually energized by the challenge of running after those type of goals. For eights, people often mistake their passion for anger. Right? I want to repeat that because this is something that is absolutely crucial to understand about eights. Right? That people often mistake their passion for anger. Eights get tired of hearing, "Are you angry at me?" And they're like, "No, I'm not angry. I'm just passionate. I'm just talking." Right? So oftentimes, because they hold so much energy in their bodies, it just comes out, and it can feel like anger. But for them, it's not anger. Right? Anger and passion and energy is intimacy for the eight. And so oftentimes they can be one of the most misunderstood types. Eights use their energy to keep things moving forward. So in the room, they don't like a lack of zeal, subdued personalities, or people not accomplishing their goals in the workplace, where they want to see momentum, they want to see progress, they want to see things moving forward, and then will use their energy and use their desire to tackle big challenges to keep the ball moving forward. And then lastly, for eights, instead of ready, aim, fire, they do it in the reverse order. Fire, aim, ready. All right, it just captures the eight's desire to move forward quickly, to get it done, to be a doer, not a thinker, right? To act quickly. but sometimes eights need to slow down. And that's actually my advice for eights is don't push, but let things happen more naturally. Right? Eights oftentimes don't foresee the impact on other people that their big decisions have. So they move quickly, make decisions, aren't afraid to break something in order to fix something, but need to slow down and think about how is this decision going to impact the people around me? How are people's feelings going to be impacted by this decision? And at the beginning, I said that there was one characteristic that just may surprise you, and here it is that eights don't love conflict. A lot of Enneagram teachers and material out there will say that eights just love conflict, but they don't wake up in the morning just excited to get into conflict. Right? They're not afraid of conflict. Like, that's the truth. They're willing to get through conflict in order to get something resolved, but they don't wake up excited about conflict. They have very tender hearts, love people well, and that's just one of the misconceptions about eights. So just know that they're not wanting to get into conflict with you, but aren't afraid of it either if they have to protect the ones they love. So let me ask you, did this video help you to find out if you're a type 8? And if so, leave a comment below. I'd love to chat. And if you want to learn more, know that I'm writing a book called The Gospel for Defenders. It's a 40-day devotional for type 8s that will take you into a deep dive of all things type 8. And it's going to come out next year in 2023. So depending on when you're watching this video, be sure to go to my website, gospelforenneagram.com, to get an update on when that book is coming out. If you love the content today, make sure to hit the like button to tell YouTube to share this with more people. I would so appreciate that. And as always, thanks for watching. I want to help you reach your God-given potential to avoid burnout, breakups, and blowups that are all too common for your type. So whether you're a seasoned Enneagram coach or brand new to the Enneagram, you're bound to experience many aha moments right here on this channel. Now, don't leave. Check out these videos on the screen to keep learning more about other Enneagram types. And I'll see you in the next video.